Hey everyone, welcome to Dave's Bonsai. On today's episode, I head west of the metro area to Otten Bros. Is it Otten Brothers?
Otten Bros.
Otten Bros?
Otten Bros.
Otten Bros.
Don't we say Otten Brothers?
No, we say Bros.
Oh, we do?
We say the
then
Bros.
I've been saying it.
You can say whatever you want. I mean, it's short for
It's
Bros.
short for brothers, right?
But
Otten
the
Bros.
name is actually Otten Bros.
We're gonna go get a $50 challenge tree. I can just feel it. Let the $50 bonsai challenge commence. So the first place, of course, that I come into is the bonsai area. And they've got a nice selection here. Now with the $50 challenge, I can't just bring one of these trees home and call it my bonsai. That wouldn't be fair. I gotta find a tree, I gotta find a pot, and we're gonna see what we can make for $50. So there's nothing more exciting than coming into a nursery to see what they have to display from end to end. This is a beautifully sprawled out place with amazing trees, indoor, outdoors. They even got the bonsai we talked about. So we're gonna meet a few people that are gonna tell us all about the bonsai and then the $50 challenge. So let's meet Chris and Linda.
My name is Chris Jordan. I am the manager at Otten Bros Nursery and Landscaping.
I'm Linda Halmy. I manage the houseplant department and also one of the buyers for houseplants.
So when I first came to the store today, I of course started where the bonsai were because that's what I do. But this is pretty new for y'all. So whoever wants to start, why bonsai and how's it been going? I mean, just right off the bat here, why and how's it going?
Why don't you take it since you've kind of gotten us into the bonsai phase? So go ahead and take it away.
Well, houseplants in general have been a very popular thing right now, but even more than popularity, I mean, they've been like a trend, but it's more than a trend. People want to incorporate nature into their homes. So we're always looking for ways to do that, and by offering bonsai to our customers, we actually can offer an experience that could really deepen that connection with nature.
Absolutely. It's more of a hands-on, type experience than some of our other houseplants.
Yeah.
But I would say around the time that COVID began, we really started to see our houseplant phase boom. And I believe that's because people were inside and they wanted to bring some greenery in. So with that, we've, continued to expand, and we will continue to expand our bonsai selection as well.
Sure. So how is the first about year or so you've been doing this? You've got some plants. How have people reacted? What are you seeing so far?
People have reacted very well. They enjoy the challenge. Some of them are a little hesitant at first because it can be somewhat daunting, but there are resources out there like the Minnesota Bonsai Society and different places that can help with that. I had a client or a customer in just this week where she brought her granddaughter in who was starting college, and she bought 2 bonsais where they're going to share in this experience together.
Oh,
so it offers a way for them to connect and have something to talk about while they're separated, and it's just an awesome way. So bonsai really can enhance your life with all the things that you learn. Besides all the benefits of houseplants,
Sure.
You also have benefits like problem solving, and creativity is involved, patience is involved.
Yeah.
So it really pushes you, or can, by the amount that you involve yourself in the process. But even if you just have it as a beautiful piece,
Yeah.
it's, you're going to reap benefits from it. It's
Yeah.
a very giving hobby, or
Right.
what would you call that?
I think,
Yeah.
almost a hobby experience. I would say, in addition to that, we have a lot of customers that may not have a full yard where they can do gardening.
Exactly.
A lot of apartment, dwelling people, and a lot of people that may live in, a senior center or something like that. And this gives them the opportunity to kind of get their hands in the dirt a little bit more. So even then, with a typical house plant, it kind of gives them that outdoor feel that a lot of people would be interested in. So I think it helps us even further our houseplant department with that.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. When people come in, there's a lot of flexibility. They can do a lot with these trees,
Right.
and they have to really learn a few things. What are some of the things that you would tell people coming through about how they're going to take care of these trees from what you've gained so far in the first year of working with them?
One of the things, I mean, they're like a house plant to a certain extent, but that watering is always an important issue with all house plants, with all tropicals, so that's what I deal with here. What I like to do is to give them basic information on how to initially take care of it, and then kind of open up what their possibilities are as far as help they can get in the process, books, websites,
right.
Organizations, things like that, and that they can take it to the next step.
Yeah.
Like you can break it down for them. You know, you can just relax with it now and watch it and grow with it, and then start doing the things if you want to start manipulating it.
Right.
So then the next step after, then we always tell them, you can come back, we can start talking about repotting, things like that, what to do with it. But initially, we don't bring in a lot of all of those things because you don't want to really overwhelm them.
Kind of just give them, the initial, the basic care they need to keep it alive initially.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what we did the first year, getting them in. Can we keep these alive?
Sure.
Here, can we do it?
Yeah.
And we were able to
Yeah.
do it. And
I think it's good to note that these trees, they look like a complete little bonsai, but they will grow, they will bush out, and they will lose their shape, if you will, or artistic thing. So they're nice to look at for that year and try to keep them alive. That's always our first goal with Minnesota Bonsai Society, anyways, to keep them alive. And then, you can start to learn how you can try to manipulate them further and take them on your personal journey with what you think is beautiful, right? Awesome. Tell us what is here. What's kind of the basic variety you're offering so far in this early going with bonsai now at your place here?
the variety we have are, we have the Fukian tea, we have the ficus, we have the Chinese elm, and now we have the lavender star, which is the gruia, which produces a beautiful purple flower. We have flowering right now. The Fukian tea is starting to flower, so some flower more regularly than others, but from our experiences last year, the ones that, like the Fukian teas, they have continued to flower, and we have had great success with that. We also have the boxwood or the sarissa. And now we've incorporated the juniper, which is more of a hardy bonsai to have. So we also carry some different pots, different sizes for the bonsai. We have books that we will, in the future, have more of those on bonsai. And so in the future, what we're hoping to do is to increase the amount of pottery we have. In fact, we have some on order right now. It's just taking a while to get here, but it will be here probably by the end of the year. So we also hope to get in more tropical bonsai starts in, and then expand our the education of bonsais with more books and
more instruction manuals,
like
more books, more reference materials, that kind of thing as well, just to help the customers that we are, currently serving.
Sure. Absolutely. Bonsai is just one little part of this nursery. This is a beautifully scoped out place. It's just it's sprawling, but it's easy to see things, and it's laid out so well. Tell us about what you do here and what you're proud of.
Very, very well. So at Otten Bros, I've been here for about 5 years. Otten Bros has been around for a very long time, so they're not new to the industry by any means. But I would say that, in the last 5 years, we have taken it up a notch for sure. So we have everything very well laid out, very systematically laid out, and it's all for the customer experience. We want you to be able to come in. We want you to say, wow, look what they have here. We want you to be able to find what you're looking for very easily and have a great, satisfying experience. So everything has been laid out with that in mind. So right now, we're obviously in our houseplant department. In our main greenhouses, we like to call it, that's where our perennials and annuals live. A lot of that we grow ourselves, which we're very proud of, very excited for, and that would take up probably the vast majority of our sales early spring would be the annuals, perennials. In addition to that, we've also got trees and shrubs. We've got a great selection. Obviously, that goes with the bonsai as well.
Yeah.
But a phenomenal selection of trees and shrubs, and that's actually where I got my start at Otten Bros, was out on the tree and shrub department, so certainly a little bit biased towards that side of things, but just an absolutely amazing selection of all plant material, and hands down, the best thing that we offer is our customer service. So someone like Linda Holman, you come in and interact with someone like Linda as you're buying a houseplant, there's nothing that I could do to offer something that valuable. So I would say by far our customer service is our bread and butter, but absolutely our product selection, our layout is, in my opinion, second to none.
Yeah. About a year ago, you took a workshop, Linda,
Yeah.
with the Minnesota Bonsai Society, and you got one of the Molina trees.
Yeah.
And You joke that you haven't touched it since last time, and so you were feeling a little bit, maybe, I don't know, embarrassed about that. But your tree does look lovely. Tell us about your Molina here.
Well, I was so excited about this Molina because at the workshop you get it and it's just all leaves. And then you reveal the trunk, and I just thought this had such a beautiful trunk, and it's all about the trunk. That's what I learned at the workshop. So one of the things, so I brought this here, and I've had it in the greenhouse. For the longest time, it just stayed pretty much, the leaves were quite small, stayed. I didn't see a lot of activity. And this all burst forth, I would say, the end of May, starting in. So
Sure.
It was almost, about 6 months later.
That it took off.
So it always looked good, but it wasn't showing any new growth. But
Right.
now it started in.
Tons of new growth
So
now.
now I'm at the point of what do I do next? So what I'm thankful for is I'm going to go to another class. I'll get help with that through the Minnesota Bonsai Society and also online so that I can learn how to navigate all of this.
Very
But
nice.
I'm so excited
Yeah,
because
looks
it
phenomenal.
was just
It's a great,
it's a great class.
great little tree, and it's going to be wonderful
and
as
it's
you.
a great class because you get your membership in the Bonsai Society with it, and then you have this beautiful tree. So
Very nice.
beautiful bonsai.
Well, thanks for sharing that.
Yes,
Yeah, you have a.
and I love looking at it. So
Well, good. I'm glad. I'm glad you're
I
still
do.
saying that.
It's fun to see.
It is
It's
fun
my
to look at.
friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
So one of the first places Linda took me to was this beautiful little display of small, fun trees. We've got some Piscicle cumulus. In other words, it's a cypress. Look at this little guy. It's got the smallest little leaves on there. I gotta get me one of those. Also, they have some butterball hinoki cypress here. I can get a hinoki cypress for 12 bucks, 13 bucks. They've got some blue star junipers, which are just really small versions of the ones I can get elsewhere. Look at the little barberries they have. Yeah, beautiful. Here's another fern leaf hinoki cypress. I like the fern leaf. I like the darker colors on this fern leaf. I think we might have to try one of those. Which one is going to be the $50 bonsai, though? I'm just going to grab one. This one. This one. Yeah. Let's grab those. If I'm not mistaken, it was Nigel Saunders who did an Aurelia Ming tree for his $50 tree. Look at the trunks on these fantastic specimens. That's awesome. Look at that. Now, as much as I love Nigel's tree, look at the ones down here. Whoa. Variegated. Oh my gosh. How do I make a decision? Sensory overload. How about a Japanese velvet Viking maple? Yes, and they're hardy to zone 4. I could put this one in the ground in Minnesota. I don't think there's big enough pots, though, to support this beautiful little maple tree with some really cool looking foliage on there. We'll have to come back a different time for that one. There's just way too much here to look at. And everything out there in the shrub world is probably too big again for the pot selection, so we're going to come back and look at the shrubs at a different time. Fantastic place here. Yeah, I just can't wait to come back. Again, much too large for the pots right now selected in this store, but look, we have some olive trees, and then we have some ficus that are the full-grown size. Yeah. Big ficuses. Look at the nabari on that one. I don't think we'll get any of these into those pots, though. I can't decide. I'm going to have to get both, and one of them will become the challenge. The next thing I have to do is decide on a pot, though. These are beautiful pots, but they're a little too big. I think these are too big as well, so we've got some of the smaller pots here. And that might be a fun pot for that one right there. Or can we put that beautiful dark green cypress in there? Yeah, I like that one. The dark pot works pretty well too. But I like the colorations on this one. So whether I go with that one or that one. I think that's the winning pot. I'm just about out of battery life with the camera, but these two are going to be the ones. One of them, when we get home, we'll decide which one will be the $50 challenge. We got the cypress, and we've got here the other cypress. Two different cypresses, completely looking different. Yeah, we'll talk about those. And we'll put these, one of them, into the pot right here. This will be exciting. Oh, and I love variegated. Can you tell? I couldn't resist. So, thinking of Nigel, I went ahead and got the Ariel Ming, but I got the variegated variety. Super excited about that one. And look at this fantastic one, the Ficus triangularis variegated. Unique leaves. Maybe think of a ginkgo when I first saw it. We're going to bring that home and play with that one too. So much fun here at Otten Brothers. So much fun at Otten Brothers today. I'll be back for sure. Let's go pay for all the goods. I'm back at home and just as excited as I was an hour ago at Otten Bros Nursery and Landscape. Oh, what a nice group of people. Thanks to Chris and Linda again for letting me traipse through the nursery and do a little filming and see their wonderful layout of annuals and perennials and shrubs and now bonsai. They've added bonsai to their collection. They're going to order more. They have a nice collection of some small and medium-sized bonsai, and they're going to get more pottery. So if anybody's in the Minneapolis area, you're going to head west of Minneapolis just by 10, 15 minutes or so, and you're going to find Otten Brothers Landscape and Nursery. Just a fabulous place and super nice people and very knowledgeable. And look what I got to bring home. So I got a pot for the $50 challenge. So the $50 challenge commences. Now I bought a couple of trees. Now these all don't qualify. This fun one right here, when my wife saw this when I first showed it to her, she says, that is going in the yard, right? Oh, it's beautiful, right? She also thought it was a variety of ginkgo, kind of like I did. This is a Ficus triangularis variegated. It's a ficus tree, so sorry, honey, it can't go in the yard. She said, you're not making that into a bonsai, are you? Well, we can keep it outside on our porch all spring, summer, and fall, but then it has to go in the plant room so the cats don't eat it. But look at this fun tree. This variegation, I do like variegated. We'll see. We'll give it a whirl. We can only try, right? Continual challenge and experimentation. So that is not a part of the $50 challenge. So we'll skip that aside. We're left with these three. Now again, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that Mr. Nigel Saunders of the Bonsai Zone did the Aurelia Ming tree. I think he had a Ming tree. Again, variegated. I couldn't say no to this tree. There are about 7 or 8 of them there at Otten Brothers and Otten Bros. They do say bros, not brothers, by the way. But of course, it's short for brothers. This variegated just spoke to me. A couple of really gnarly looking trunks. I got the more traditional kind of looking trunk, but this is kind of an aerial root going down here and a nice wide trunk down here. It's got kind of a funky root over here, but multiple trunk species here. We're going to have fun with that one. That could qualify as my tree, but I didn't want to do the same tree that someone else did, so that one goes aside, and that leaves us with these 2 gems and this pot. So we have a couple of cypresses here, right? So this one is called the Cumulus Sawara Cypress, and it has the smallest little foliage. It looks very juniper-like. It almost looks like a really tiny asparagus fern. Super fun. Yeah. So that one is going to be one of the choices, or this one was. Now, I've had one of your basic Hinoki cypress in the past. I no longer have that one with me. It was a couple of years back. I don't recall the details. But this one is called the Fern Leaf Hinoki Cypress. So I love the dark color of the foliage on this one. And so we're going to try the Cypress Hinoki style as well. But which one goes into the pot? So I don't know if this is cheating with the $50 challenge. I came home with 2 trees. I couldn't make my mind up. But irregardless of which one goes into the challenge here, I was going to buy both of them anyway. So I just prolonged my, what am I going to do? Each tree was about $13, and the pot here I think was 11 bucks. So 13 and 11 is 24. I got my challenge for under 50 bucks. If they sold soil on the premise I would assume it'd be in that $10 to $15 range, so I would have kept under the $50. So for about 25 bucks, I'm going to have a little tiny Shohin bonsai. Now these are little tiny trees, and this pot is probably too big for these two trees, but that'll allow for a lot more root growth, and we'll get it healthy and hopefully doing really wonderful things. I do have some really nice smaller pots that probably would look really good with these trees, but for the $50 challenge, we got to use the pot from the store. So nice pot, a couple of big drain holes there. I love the color variation of this one. It's got some of the black specks down here, some almost patina look into it. This is a real nice, more uniform side. This side has these blotches here, and I think I'm going to go with this tree just because it's so unique. It's got the small, tiny little foliage. We'll do a cypress in one of my little pots. So there is the decision, everyone. We are going to go ahead and we're going to do the Cumulus Sawara Cypress. Now, is this the perfect time to be repotting this cypress? Nope, not likely. But we're going to give it good aftercare, and in the spirit of the $50 challenge, I'm not going to wait, and we're going to go ahead and do it now. This cute little pot here. Oh my gosh, look at all those roots. Let's move this to the back, and let's see what we got here. Now it's a big enough pot that I can support maybe not destroying too much of the roots. And there's some topsoil here, which is good. It'll give me a little bit more of a trunk here, because this was definitely looking like a bush, but there are branches in there. You can trust me on that one. We'll see them in a little bit here. Lots of little roots on this guy. Look at all the roots in there. Yeah. Scoot over to the other side because I'm right-handed. I don't want to block your view as much as possible. So I really appreciate everybody taking the $50 challenge and having fun with it. It's been certainly fun to watch in the YouTube community. My thanks to Jay from Blue Jay Bonsai for putting my name in the mix and challenging me. Here you go, Jay. This is definitely for you and everybody out in Blue Jay Bonsai world in the community. This has been a lot of fun. I can't wait to see all the pictures from all the end results. I think there's going to be some release of all these trees at some point with pictures. So stay tuned for that, kind of an update show on where everything is. So I'll provide that on my channel as well, and I'm sure everybody else will on their channels. You'll have multiple places to see different versions or a master version. I'm not sure if who's putting that together right now. Yeah, Bonsai. Shout out to Yeah, Bonsai. Getting all this started. So lots of roots here. They seem to be on one side of the tree. Interesting. So whether this was slip potted into this bigger pot, but here there's a little bit of a gap on this side. It's like I could cut everything off and there's the radial root pattern. Now it is a really nice radial root pattern. This is very dark soil, but right in dark roots, but right there is a nice strong root. There's a root growing there. There's some nice roots on this already, so that's nice. It's just so we've got this other side that is completely, wholly overgrown and massive, but I don't want to cut too much off for fear I don't know what's going to happen with this cute little guy down the road. Again, not the best time to repot, but we're doing this in the shade. There's plenty of moisture on these roots right now. We'll get into some soil and we'll protect this in the shade for a good couple of weeks, and then it'll have the end of August and September to do its stuff, and then we'll take good care and we will put this into some winter storage so it gets down in that 35 to 40 range, protecting it in this little tiny pot. So if you do have temperate trees that you keep outside, the smaller the pot, the more possible damage you could get. So right off the bat here, let's just go ahead and shorten this like about there. And I don't care if I leave the rest of those because, again, the time of the year. I have the tree, I have the pot ready. I'm going to put a little medium soil in first. And we're going to see about how high this will sit as we spread out some of these roots. Again, I have not so much on this side, a lot on the inside. And we can lay these pretty flat out. And here we go. So we laid a lot flat out to that other side. Now this tree is so tiny, I don't know if I'll be able to do much pruning once it's in unless I wired this one in. But I don't want to wire it in. I'm going to let it go all natural. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of pruning on this guy first and see if we can find a couple of limbs we might want to take off. So here's a nice opening to the tree. Got some soil that's been stuffed up there a little bit. You can kind of see through the tree here. Super, super delicate in there, right? So there's a nice branch over here and a nice branch over here, one coming at her face. This angle of the tree. A couple of spriggly ones in here we can cut off. Boy, I don't know what's going to be the front of that tree. It might be this major branch right out here. As we start to fan out this guy just a little bit. What is it going to do? Yeah. It's just been scrunched together. Palmy like. But just look at that. I just changed the whole look of the tree right there. So this seems to have a little bit more a warm, inviting, coming towards us hug. So I think I'm going to focus on this as the front. I'm going to cut this little guy off right here because that's in our face. There's this inside trunk right there. I think I'm going to cut him off for now. There we go. We'll get that one off. And this one looks like it's, there we go, that one has some death on there. Now there are 3 trunks out here growing. This is a multi-trunk style at the moment, but I'm not going to keep all 3 of those, so I'll cut those 2 off. And there we have a fun trunk out this way. This trunk right here. There's these 2 right here and one third one back there, and there's a couple more in the back that are peeling away. Let's turn it around. Let's get rid of this real super skinny one. This super skinny one, and maybe this one, and we'll have this one and this back one here grow up a little bit more. So we have some more splitting of the trunks here. You can see through the tree much better. There we go. Just kind of combing out some of these branches here. All right. Okay, let's spread it back out. I think we need some fine soil now. There's our fine soil. And we're going to go ahead and lay this thing out real nice here. I've got a root up front here that I can kind of bring around to the front a little bit more. We can work on that as it gets a little bit bigger in the next repotting. I think I'll put it off a little bit to the left, just a little bit. We'll have to have rocks hold it down, but I think we're just a little bit high in the pot still. All right, there we go. We'll put some soil in as I hold it tight here. Definitely will need a little heavy rock for that. Let's find that. Okay, that's kind of a unique rock back there. That'll help keep that tree stable where it wanted to pop up a little bit. Let me get some water to help hold that in. There's not a lot of soil below. It tucked really good to that layer of soil it put in. It spread out real nice. We've given it a good water. It's in good shape. We'll put the rock on to make sure it stays sturdy again. But there's the look through the tree without the rock. Now I'll put this on here so it stays there while I maybe work on it. So then the dilemma here is how much foliage should I trim off on this beautiful tree? If we don't get rid of some of the foliage, of course, some of the stuff inside will die. And I can split the tree open and see what it's offering and thin it out just a little bit. So I'll just give a few prunes of the inside facing branches. And as you can see, most of the foliage on this branch grows all around this way. It's actually pretty thin on the inside. But I can always make it just a little bit thinner. Start making some future potential pockets where we can see a bird fly through someday. Get some more branches to form. Let's get rid of that one right there. Maybe have a little resemblance to some future pads. Again, it's easier to see if you take a look underneath. We've got all of those branches. Just a cute little tree. Looks very lush right now. What can we cut off? This one's kind of poking at us. Let's take that one off. I don't want to lose all the pokey branches right away because it's what makes this tree kind of fun and cute. Took off this big one there. An old cut point right there. Oddly enough, if that's what that was. So I've got a little pocket here. I've got a pocket here. I've got a pocket back there. So give it a little bit more texture on the tree. Put the rock back on for some sturdiness. We'll take a peek. So I've got this really fine soil. So I've got this poker that I don't use for many things, but making sure that the soil is kind of tucked into some of these roots a little bit. It's such fine soil that it just moves around a lot with big. So this is the back of the tree, but it looks kind of nice as a front, doesn't it? That's where the rock's going to sit at first to let it get those roots to get structured. But then there's the front right now. It's maybe leaning a little bit too much, but with the rock here, it sets it down. We have the Cumulus Sawara Cypress. Yeah, it's my little green cumulus nimbus cloud. We have some trunks down there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trunks down there, kind of, or 8 branches that could be trunks. Do we cut 1 or 2 more of them off? I think this little one is competing with the big one in front of it. Let's cut that one off. Now we're going to leave that there for now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there's one we can't quite see. I'm debating if I cut it off. Let's cut it off. Big one here. Big cut. Big cut on a little tree. There. Now we have a row of 2, 4, 6, 7 trunks. Keeps it odd. On a real nice moving base of that trunk. And there we have the $50 Cumulus Sawara Cypress. I sifted a little sphagnum moss. We're going to go ahead and put a little sphagnum moss on the top layer of this pot because I got a lot of roots close to the surface and a lot of really good draining soil. Though it be fine in the top section, it's medium on the bottom. It's going to go ahead and it's going to go through the pot pretty fast. I don't want that top layer of roots to completely have any challenge with the heat of summer with this very odd time of year planting. So, a little bit of sphagnum moss. back goes the rock. For right now, make sure that backside stays. We just had a windstorm at about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning last night, and I only had 2 trees tip over. I wouldn't want this thing having any damage, so I'm going to make sure I keep that on to protect it for the first several weeks, if not the full rest of this summer. So there we have, I think, a final shot. I think that's it, everyone. Here we have our cumulus cypress that we have for the $50 Bonsai Challenge. My thanks to Linda and Chris out at Otten Bros Landscape and Nursery and Landscape. Check them out, west side of Minneapolis. I'll have a link to their beautiful nursery down below in the description. Thanks to Blue Jay Bonsai for getting me hooked onto the challenge. And Jeff Rumis, get into the wild with Jeff Rumis. I challenge you to create a bonsai for $50 or less. Jeff's been commenting a couple of times on the post for the videos. Check him out too. So there's a link for Jeff on there. Check out Jeff's videos, a lot of good stuff. And Jeff, you've been challenged. I hope no one else beat me to the punch, but there you go. Thanks everyone. This has been a fun little adventure. I'm going to go back out to the nursery soon and check out what they're doing. Keep tabs on that. And yeah, we're going to get this thing in a safe spot. Hey, until the next one, take care of you. Take care of your bonsai, $50 or otherwise. And we'll catch you on the next one.